Well, we all know that that is my favorite opening from NBA. That was NBA on CBS. That was one of my favorites. So I hope you guys could hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you could hear me, or if you can't. Can you hear me? I see Steve waiting in the wing. Steve, you there? Steve's there. And so I'm going to welcome everybody to Orlando. We are in Orlando. We wanted to go outside tonight. Sorry, we can't go outside yet. And it's raining. It was pouring. I was jogging and got caught on the 13th hole running and got very, very wet today. So let me get a little more light on here. So there we go. I could sweat a little for you in front of that. So I'm glad you're all out there. And feel free to comment and feel free to join. There's the link. So we see Lou's getting ready to join. We got Steve's getting ready to join. Got a special thing for Steve when he comes on. And I hope you guys could hear me. So that's it. So let's bring Steve on from Jersey. Steve, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. So you could hear me and I could hear you. So Steve was, we wanted to get Steve on last week because I had it all set up, and I want to get some more people on and wait for Lou and some other people to come on. But here's what I had all set up. Let me see if I could do this for Steve.
That's for me?
That's for you.
Is there supposed to be sound?
Oh, there's no sound again?
No.
You know, I got to talk to the StreamYard people because that's the second time they said if that's on there, they would. My wife's waiting to come on, but I got to get her. She's on the wrong thing. So let me give her the proper link because I want to. It's my wife's birthday today. We want to get her on to say hello to Paulina. Let me see. Do this one. And there she goes. And hopefully she'll be on. So, Steve, how are you?
I'm great.
Okay. And what was that?
Happy to be here.
Yep. You know, it's funny. I don't know what I got. I got like two things going on here. I'm sorry that I got to stop that. So this was kind of an impromptu night, and you had a nice weekend, right? Like you take off on a Friday and Saturday. I wish I had that discipline.
I've been doing that for about 20 years now. I take off for the Jewish Sabbath, and I detach myself from all electrical equipment and just commune. And it's nice. It's actually a nice way. You don't realize it, how much you're caught up in society if you don't do that. Some of us don't have the options, but it's nice.
I think it's a great thing. I wish I was able to do that. You know, the world is not, it doesn't really conform, to that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It's interesting though. When I first started this, I thought I was going to have significant problems. No employer would allow me to do it. Now, part of it is I'm lucky. I have had jobs with mostly Jewish employers, but
Right.
it worked out much better than I thought. And even my non-Jewish clients and colleagues were very, very supportive of it. I was actually very surprised, pleasantly so. So never had a problem really.
Right. Right. Um, yeah, I'm a little I hate when I'm distracted, and
Take your time. You got to do what you got to do.
well, Lou's backstage, but I don't see him. So, because you know what happened? I wanted to go to LinkedIn. You get all these things like I'm learning, learning about all this to try to get it going, and we have some really good shows. And
He may
every
be
time,
in
huh?
the other one. He may be on the other line.
Yeah, and every time I try new thing, like I tried to do LinkedIn, and all of a sudden I couldn't do it. You have to sign up and this and that, but it doesn't tell you that when you're doing it. So
Yeah.
that's it really holds me back. And um, so have you been watching any NBA?
I have to say I haven't.
Uh,
except, for,
I
except for occasional, like the other night, there was a rain delay during one of the Yankee games, and they put on the NBA some games, but that's basically all. No offense,
no, it's their ratings are down, unfortunately. But something I noticed that, and it's kind of subtle. I'm part of two football pools, and are not. Both of them are not um, filled up. They're like less than half of the people that are normally in there, and I think that's sad. Well, I mean, I don't mean sad. It's like it's making a statement that people are not interested. Like I'm deciding whether or not to join the pools, and because uh, um,
why do you think they're not joining? Because they don't think it's going to happen.
no, I think they're tired of hello Lou, we'll bring Lou in. I think they don't want to see the hey Lou, there's Steve here. I they don't want to see they want to see sports. And I think people have a problem with going what they're seeing. And um I'm a part of it. I'm in it. I'm in the middle of it, and things are going well, and we're doing what we have to do. But the public is taking a different stance on it. I mean, some public is going for it, some public aren't, and
It's hard to follow things. Like in the baseball scenario, I mean, I'm a pretty big baseball fan, but with
right,
all the delays due to canceled games due to either COVID or there were a lot of rain delays, believe it or not, in the New York area lately, it's hard to keep up, even for an avid fan, of what's going on.
yeah,
So that's part of it also.
right, and I'll bring Lou in on this. Lou, what did you think about what were you thinking when they walked off? What did you think was going to happen? I'll tell you what I thought. What was your opinion on what was going to happen?
I was under the opinion that things were going to change. Management was going to side with the players, and you're basically seeing social change.
But did you think they were coming back? Did you think they were going to play?
No, I honestly thought they were going to sit out.
You did.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to play. I thought there was more going on. People see the salaries of players and the millions of dollars, and they don't realize if you look at a list of teams, and Lou, I'm sure you're aware of this, that hey Ma, I have to say hello to my mother. I'm gonna show my mom there. So the when you look at a list of team salaries, let me here's Pauline. We may have to take a look. Hey babe.
Hey, there she is.
Hello.
The birthday girl.
Happy birthday.
Babe, could you hear? Babe, we can't hear you.
He's muted.
Are you mute? See if your babe, your mic is muted. See if you could touch your mic. There you go. And is your volume on? my muted wife. This is the quietest she's ever been. It's Paulina's birthday today, so wish her a nice happy birthday.
To you.
I wish.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, he sings too.
Happy birthday to you.
That was beautiful.
Oh.
See, Lou would be a karaoke guy. Lou would come on to the
A lot
karaoke.
of alcohol in me before I do karaoke.
So, babe, I see your mic is open, but I don't hear you. Maybe you need to put your headphones on. Go put your headphones on. Go.
You can't hear us.
Right. Could you put your thumbs up if you could hear us? Oh, baby. All right. Well, at least you're there. So, you don't have to stay on, babe. What was that, Lou?
Getting back to what we were talking about, with the NBA starting to come up with this polling places, turning arenas into voting booths. Before they do that, you got to recognize that only 20% of the players are registered to vote. And I think they should lead by example.
I didn't know that, but we'll get back to that. But I thought they were going to come back because for the reasons of not all ball players make money, the money that the big players make. And everybody's got bills. I got bills. They got bills. Just because they make money doesn't mean their bills aren't higher. So they still have bills to pay. And to sit out and not get paid is one thing. Also, I think psychologically, and I don't know what went on behind the scenes, but if you walk off and then the fans could say, well, let's say next season they come back, the fans go, well, how do I know if something happens, you're not going to walk off again? Why am I going to invest my time into rooting if I don't know if you're going to play? So I think it was a very good idea for them to finish what they started. The NBA put a lot into it. The networks put a lot into it. And I think they made the right decision to come back. Plus, if they want a platform, you can't have a platform if you're off the air. Once you're off the air, out of sight, out of mind, you disappear no matter what you're trying to do. And, so if they wanted the platform, they made the right decision of what they had to do. So, what they're going to do to move forward and politically, that's whatever they're going to do. But I didn't know that how do you know they're only 20% or,
I read something, I believe, on the New York Times, or I'm not sure where I saw it, but I saw that statistic the other day, that only 20% of the players are registered to vote.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know who's registered to vote. I found it interesting. I was reading an article today that of the registered voters in various counties in California, 102% of them are registered to vote. So there's people that are underage that they have registered to vote, and so the voting is a big issue. Voting is a big issue, and people just need to go out and vote. It'd be great if everybody went out and voted. You know what? Now that I'm talking about it, there's going to be live election coverage. There's going to be live debate coverage. The debate, I'm thinking about doing a watch group so we could watch together, and we're going to, we could comment on the debate and watch. You could have it live on your own screen. That way you could hear it because the audio doesn't come through that well. But the election coverage, I guarantee mine is going to be more fun. If you watch it in 2016, we had a fun election coverage. I had my ideas and we went through things, and this one, and I see you, and this one, I'm going to bring Rick on and here we go. Hello, Rick.
Hi.
Here we go.
How
Here we
are
go.
you?
Good. You missed Paulina. We're gonna get back to Rick in a second. But
Not great.
I like that I can control that.
Yes.
So and yeah, right. So the election coverage is going to be great. I have maps all set. I have we're going to go over the 2016 electoral results. We're going to see which states were swing states, which flipped, which may not flip, which could flip back, who needs to get what. It's really up to the swing states. That's it. It's the swing people and the swing states. Everything else is determined. There's states that are predetermined, red and blue. And, maybe we'll even get into why political parties are named red and blue. There's reasons for it. It's like color wars, but I was looking it up. There's a reason why one's red and one's blue. So that'll be during the debate coverage and the electoral coverage. And, there's three debates. One is in the end of September, they're on Thursday, I think, Tuesday or Thursday, then comes the vice presidential debate, and then is going to come two more presidential debates. And it's going to be the first time ever where a presidential candidate has someone next to them, like kind of pushing them in the shoulder a little to wake them up during the debate. So we'll see what happens during those debates. I guess not everybody appreciates that joke, but I do. So Rick was at the Republican National Convention.
Yes, I was.
So what was your role there?
Oh, I was the technical director for the all the speeches.
So where were you? Where was your truck based?
We were at Mellon. We were right behind the Reagan International Center. And then we were right by the Mellon Arena. We were 1,000 feet from the Mellon Arena. Not even 1,000 feet. It's like 500 feet.
Which Mellon? The Cantaloupe
the Mellon Arena is where we taped with all the flags in the background. That's
Right.
where we taped everybody. I mean, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., all of them.
you taped
The
them.
majority of them were taped. There's only like
Yeah.
3 or 4 live ones.
Right. So you weren't at the White House.
No, another crew was at the White House.
Right.
Bruce was at the White House. Bruce was
Right.
doing
I don't know who watched
3 venues.
that fireworks show at the end of it was spectacular.
It's spectacular.
Spectacular. I'm sure not everybody watched it because depending on what party you're for,
Right.
if you're open to everything and you watch everything, like I watch everything,
Yeah.
that was a spectacular
I couldn't
firework
believe
show.
my mouth dropped actually when I did the Trump 2020. They did it twice or 2 or 3 times.
Unbelievable. By the Washington Monument. If you get
Yeah.
a chance to watch it, I'm sure it's on YouTube. If you like fireworks, it was one of the most spectacular. I'm sure the New York City ones are great, but that was just a spectacular. I thought the speeches were great. I thought it being in front of a live audience really electrified things, and so that was good. And
Yeah. Hi, Lou. Steve.
so you taped a lot of stuff. Were there? Because I noticed on the tapings there was a lot of cuts to the side angle.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's because people flubbed and they needed to edit. Like, how did that work?
No, the ones that were edited were the ones they shot up high. When we went to the high shot,
Right.
that was the edit. That was the edit point. So we went back and picked up a line or two of the previous paragraph.
Right.
And they came in and they edited there. The majority of the rehearsals, and then Donald Trump and Eric Trump came in early once earlier in the week, and then they came back and they taped it. They were supposed to speak live, but then they decided to tape it, and it made sense. It made sense so they get the delivery right and everything like that.
Yeah. Did they have like a coach?
They had speech writers that coached them. Yes.
Right. Like maybe to emphasize things or.
Yeah. And it was done on the teleprompter that way. Also, they put things in thick lettering and everything like that.
So is that where they did the? Was that where they did the? I don't know. He was a congressman who was a soldier, and they lifted him from the wheelchair. Was that?
Yep.
That was that, right?
That was us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty.
We
Pretty
did that
cool.
one in 2 parts. So they cut to the high camera.
Right.
And so he did his whole thing, and he cut to then we cut to the high camera, and the 2 guys came in, and they rehearsed it once or twice, and they did it. I stand for whatever.
Right. I thought it was interesting that they did some
It was
kind.
very powerful. It really was.
Right. It was a little kind of. I like the way they did a little kind of noise after each speech to give the impression of an audience. It was very slight.
Yeah.
But I heard, so maybe it was like in the music.
It was in the music. The music
yeah.
was very, the White House gave us music. This is what Trump likes. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
He had all this like rock and roll music.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all. I'm sure he does more copyright infringement than I do, and I do a lot. I'm all over copyright infringement.
Yeah.
So
he wanted us to play all this music, and it's like we just looked at each other and said, "No, we're not doing that. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen." It's like, so we just picked all this political music that they gave us also, and those are the transitions that we used. So those transitions were, there was a playlist that was done, and they just did everything on an EVS playlist, and then they did 30-minute blocks. So we were on the air for like an hour and a half.
Right.
And the last half hour was the other venue, whether it was either Fort McHenry or it was the White House. So I mean, and then we filled until 11 o'clock, I think, once or twice. Yeah, twice we filled. So it was 4 nights. So Fort McHenry got on the air at 12:30, and then I think at 10 o'clock on Thursday, Trump, that the White House stuff got on the air. So we only had to fill up to that point.
Did you have to walk through any of the chaos that was going on?
No, it didn't bother me. But the day before I left, they were on Thursday. They were boarding up the city. I mean, I have pictures. I mean, I could probably post one of them, but I did post it on Facebook actually.
Right.
That they were boarding up the city with plywood.
Right. I thought they had some very powerful speakers. I thought, comparing the two conventions, the tone was very different, I thought, in the conventions. So, I don't know. Did you guys watch either of the conventions?
I watched a little bit of the DNC, just a little bit.
Right. But Lou and Steve, did you watch any of the conventions?
I watched
I
both.
did.
With both of them, or one of them, or
I watched both of them.
Both.
You watched both? Steve, you watched them both?
I watched 80% of the DNC and about 60% or 50% of the RNC.
Right.
Fair amount. I caught all the big speeches.
Right. I watched the DNC convention, and I asked, I called Joe Biden, and I said, "Listen, is your bed? Could you move over? Because if you're going to sleep through this, I am too." So
everyone, like, there's a lot of postings about Glenn Weiss and doing it in his bare feet from his house and everything like that, directing everything from the. It's like,
well, who's that? Who was that? I didn't see
Glenn
that.
Weiss. He directs all the Oscars and stuff like that.
Right. And he directed it from his house.
He directed from his house, and it's on Facebook. If you look, I guess you can find it. But he had all these monitors set up in his living room, and he directed everything in his bare feet.
Right. If people watch that, and the intent to me is always, again, going after the swing voters, because people who are locked into their vote are not changing. That's just not happening. Like, whatever you guys are, if you're stringent on what it is, you're going to stick to it. I'm who I'm for. You're who you're for. Rich, yeah. Go ahead, Lou.
I just want to say one thing. If the Democrats don't get their act together with regards to law and order, Mr. Trump is going to be back in place.
If they don't get it, they don't get what into?
If they don't get the law and order issue.
Yeah.
Law and order.
Protesting in the streets that are turning into anarchy.
Well, they're saying the Democratic cities are all the Democratic cities are the ones that are doing it. That's they're riding on.
Right. See, this is. I think things are backfiring because, I don't really want to get too much into politics, but this is, I'm going to talk about this during the election cast when I do it, because I really started doing some research, and Oregon, Hillary only won by about 150,000 votes in Oregon, and if people in Portland is the big county, big city in the big county there, and if the Portland citizens are sick of what's going on and they flip, he could flip Oregon. and that's one. He could totally flip Oregon because there was a lot of counties in Oregon that went Republican. The two big ones went Democrat. But if they're sick of what's going on, that's going to flip. Also, he did a speech in New Hampshire and a couple days ago, and I didn't realize this. I didn't know how Republican New Hampshire was. They have a New Hampshire governor.
God.
Yeah, but they had a Democratic governor before this one, and he, I think he lost New Hampshire by a little bit, and he could flip. That's 4 electoral votes. He could flip.
Well, Southern New Hampshire is the suburb of Boston.
He could. I didn't know. I thought all of Northeast was Democrat, but that's not what I'm seeing. And my prediction is about I don't remember how many electoral votes are up, but my prediction is about 318 to 213 going Trump. That's my prediction for the election. And this is, huh?
Then moving on to another subject.
Yeah, I know it hurts. But I really did a lot of analysis and research on it, and as long as the fraud is kept to a minimum, then
Good luck.
it's going to be tough. I mean, the mailing ballots is. I mean, one of the reasons if people are not excited to go vote and they're not going to get out, what do? You want to bring the vote to them so they don't have to move. But if your party can't get your people excited, should they have the right to go bring you a ballot? That's not right. If you don't want to go.
Not the excitement issue. Like for me, I'll give you, and everyone in my family, I'm immunosuppressed, so I can't leave the house. I haven't left the house mostly, except for the doctor's appointments since.
Right.
And there's a lot of people I know that way. And that's the reason. Otherwise, I've never missed going to voting in my life.
Right.
I'd run to the polls. But I think that's okay. I think that if someone has a legitimate reason, let's say you have a doctor's, they should send it in and say, that way there's a legitimizing of the person and the reality of the person that he exists to vote. I mean, you can't just have people sitting at home and you don't even know if they're alive and they're voting. You're getting a thing in the mail. Like let's say someone owns an apartment building and they just collect all the votes. They collect all the ballots from the mailboxes and you have to sign them. You have to sign. Let me
who's going to prove whether you.
I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
We had to. I think they've changed it since I actually sent in for my ballot in New Jersey to make it everybody's getting one. But at the time that I signed up, we weren't. So I sent in my request for a ballot for the primary that was in June. It was pushed, but it was supposed to be in June, and for the general election, I sent it in, and my partner Dee Dee did also. She gets a call a week or so later saying her signature doesn't match.
Really?
They were right because it's a long story, but bottom line, they were correct. And
what were they matching it to?
They were matching it to the fact that when she got married the first time, she hadn't changed her name yet. Then she ended up changing her name. And so it was a slight difference.
Oh, geez. And I'm going to be getting 10 phone calls from the ballots I sent out.
Well, anyway, the bottom line is, at least in New Jersey, in our county, they called on that. So they check the signature. I can't. Right. I'm not in every county.
You're in Jersey, right? You're in Jersey.
Yes, I am.
So the county that just arrested like 4 people for mail fraud, election fraud, you're aware of that one, right?
That was in Paterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, see that. So people have to know that this exists. This is not a joke. There is election fraud. I'm not saying just one party. I'm sure it exists on both parties.
Yeah, but it's not as rampant. It's like, for example, this woman, and I'll say I believe her. I can't tell you this is the truth. A woman posted on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends. I haven't seen her in years. It's almost like a situation with me and you, Todd.
Yeah.
And she says that, and I'm paraphrasing, my mom sent someone a Christmas card in 2009. And she was being very serious. And she literally received a thank you last week. that
from
person
President Lincoln.
just received her Christmas card. Now, let's say she's being sincere. I don't know, but if she is, how often does that happen? Is that maybe one every million? Yeah.
I think the mail company is good. I think the post office is pretty good.
They are. They
I think
screw up.
the post
office is pretty good.
Everyone screws up every once in a while. But that to use that, and then she went on to then say she's a New Jersey resident and say how this is terrible. This just proves that we can't trust anybody. And the Democrats, she went on to yell about the Democrats. But I mean, used as an example is a little extreme.
Right.
The other thing too is you got to understand, mail-in ballots are not counted until after the machine.
That's
and
correct.
Yeah, but that's
not
is that
fair.
mail-in ballots or is that absentee ballots?
They're the same.
Mail-in.
They're all the same. They're all voted the same. It's kind of the same time.
So then that means they're not gonna be able to count a winner, because I thought it was very odd, and there was at least 3 elections that I'm aware of, a couple in California, somewhere else, one in Arizona, I think, where one person won, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, all the counting of the mail-in ballots totally flipped the results, and that's fishy to me.
Yeah.
That's fishy. Absentee ballots is understandable. The mail-in ballots, to me, I think you go out and vote. I think you go. That's just me.
Agreed.
I think if you can't prove, they can, at least now they don't have voter ID, but if you're home, seriously, someone could fill out 10 ballots for somebody, and I don't know if they don't have any proof of somebody's signature. How are they going to?
They
how
do.
are they going to prove?
They
it?
have the proof.
How?
Have you voted?
Because these ballots are not requested like an absentee ballot. An absentee ballot is requested.
But you have to sign it. You have to sign an absentee ballot or a mail-in ballot, whatever you want to call it. You sign it, and it's checked against your name of the registry. So now you could say people could make a mistake. That could happen anytime. It goes when you go and vote in person. You sign, and they check you.
One more.
Let me ask you. Maybe you know this. Is there someone from each party overseeing?
No, it's not. It's not a political thing.
It's a total political thing.
No, you just walk in there.
No, I mean, is each party when you're sending in a mail-in ballot?
No, it's not. It's the Board of Elections of wherever you live.
How many Board of Elections people have been proven to be corrupt? I mean, one in Florida was corrupt. There's another one corrupt. I mean, there's so many. I wouldn't trust that at all.
But then you can't trust them when they do the regular elections either. It's the same people. It's the same.
Right, right. I'm just not a fan of mail-in ballots. I just think people should get out and vote. Steve, I'm going to come over and drive you to the voting booth.
Well, I can't be in the car with you. I can't trust you.
No, that's right.
I'll be honest with you.
Some people can't. What?
My partner, Dee Dee, I live in her home. She has 2 children. They're not children anymore. They're both college age. She hasn't allowed them in our home since March.
So where are they, in the backyard in a tent?
No. Well, she's divorced, and one is staying with her ex-husband. The other one has a job in North Carolina. Right. That's how caring she is of me. But that's when you're in this situation, you have to make sure you're.
I don't let Paulina's kid in the house.
Everyone does what they have to do. But I'm saying,
he's
the offer. You're coming from California to drive me to the polls. I can't accept, but I appreciate it.
Oh boy! Well, if I drive you to the poll, if I drive you to the Russians or the right. So, all right. So that's enough for politics. That's
Thank
it.
God.
We went.
Yeah.
Right. But again, the election coverage. Let me see. I know I have the debates on my calendar somewhere. I want to, because the debates are going to be fun. I think they're going to be fun. They're going to be all, they're all both going to be lying through their teeth to get through this and be entertained.
We know.
Yeah. And I just think it's going to be funny because, I don't dislike Biden. I think he's probably misunderstood. He seems like just a jovial, nice kind of guy. He's always smiling. He's always happy. He's always ineffective. So I just think he's a good.
Fine.
You're funny, Todd. Sneak it
think
in
he's-
right up. Jim.
Yeah, right. I think he's. Let me see
He
where.
doesn't know how to tweet.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, look at this. September 29th, presidential debate, number 1, 9 p.m. ET, going against MLB wildcard game 1. So I don't know who's going to win that one.
I may have to watch it on a split screen.
Yeah, right. I don't know how I'm going to do my live, and because I'm working that. I don't know how I'm going to be doing a game and doing that's going to be tough. And then oh, that's a bummer. Then the following Wednesday is the vice presidential debate in Salt Lake City on the 7th. Then
Someone's been working with Pence. I'll tell you that. He was speaking really well. He really was.
was he? I like him.
Yeah.
I think I like him.
Someone's been working with him. Definitely.
Yeah.
He's not as
I like
stiff as
him.
he used to be.
Right. And then October 15th is another debate against the American League Championship Series Game 5. And then October 22nd on a Thursday from Nashville is probably against the World Series game. So
Good timing.
that's, it's just weird. It's who's gonna. It's going to be interesting. Who's going to be watching what? And so,
You could always,
and I wonder.
Or Todd, have people already made up their minds?
I don't know. I think a lot of people, but I think swing voters are going to be watching the debate. I think they're not going to be going baseball. I think they're going to be watching the debate. They want to see who they're going to vote for. This is pretty important. So this is, and
I agree with Rick. I think 90% already know who they're voting for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agree with you.
they do. But the swing voters, the swing states are the important states, and that's who they're going after. They're going
Well,
after
the-
Florida.
the-
They're going what?
Buyer's remorse in the last election.
Buyer's remorse?
The suburban housewives.
I don't think there's buyer's. You know what? It was so funny because I remember from NBC, Rachel Maddow, she gets on, she goes, after the election, she goes, the country is in shock. Everybody is in shock. And I'm thinking,
So
wait a
she was
second.
in shock.
Right. I'm like, wait a second. 50% of the people voted for him. So those people are not in shock. There's you can't make a generalized statement about America because your opinion is not America's opinion.
Agreed.
So the coverage again right away was just so misinforming, and so that's the debate schedule. That's the debate schedule. Let's see what we got for here we go. That's the smartest comment of the night. But Paulina couldn't get her mic going, and because she's fun. So who's been watching the playoffs? Lou, you've been watching, right? Not anymore since your boys are out of it.
I'm wondering who our new coach is going to be.
Who is it now? Alvin Gentry? Who?
Oh, they fired him.
They just fired him, right?
Yeah, he got fired as soon as we got eliminated 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got to think Alvin Gentry is not a good coach. He is never. I would like to look up his record. He's rarely had a winning season.
He's a survivor, though.
Well, there's a lot of survivors. That's one of my topics that I want to do because I want to see if I can get Alvin Gentry's coaching record
I'm working
here.
on it too.
Okay, I got it here. Okay, so let me see if I could share this so we could go to it.
He's much. He's in the red.
No, that wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't what I wanted. I want that one.
He
I
isn't.
don't think I got it. Let me try it one more time.
462.
5'10", versus 595.
Right, but by season, oh, you can't really see it well.
I can see it.
Let's see. He's had a few over 500 seasons.
Yep.
Right, there we go.
Many.
Went to the playoffs on occasion.
So he's 37-16 with 21 ties. That's no, I don't know what that is. Let's see what that. Oh, games, wins,
510
losses.
wins, 595 losses.
Okay, yeah, okay. Losing season. Because I remember, he was at the Heat. Rick, were we doing these games here when he was
What year? Yeah, we were
94,
doing
95?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, losing season. He had a winner here, a loser with Detroit, loser with the Clippers, loser. He had one good year with Phoenix, and then so he's had 2 winning seasons. So that's let me get rid of this stuff. That's not good. So I would say there's some overrated coaches. I think Alvin Gentry and that's his job, I guess, but why take him? I think, who I think is very overrated? Scott Brooks. And I'll tell you why. What do you think of Scott Brooks, Lou?
I agree. I think he's overrated.
Scott Brooks, when you're coaching a team that has, and I don't care if you went to the finals one year, you have Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka. You got a whole bunch of people, 3 of which are MVPs, and you can't bring them to a championship. To me, that tells me you can't coach them. You don't know how to coach them, because Phil Jackson could definitely coach them to a title. Greg Popovich could coach them to a title. You got those guys. That's a super team right there. You're not using them properly. So Scott Brooks, and then he went on to, where did he go after that? To Orlando or whatever? I don't even know. I just don't think he's a good coach. Washington. I don't think. Oh, you seeing that there?
I'm looking on the great screen of the phone.
Right. Yeah, and he may have a winning record, but I just don't think he's a good coach. Like Kurt Rambis used to kept getting coaching jobs, and I'm thinking, why is he getting coaching jobs? He cannot coach. And you know who else is turning into someone I thought wouldn't is Luke Walton. He's turning into a bad coach, in my opinion. And I think most coaches are pretty bad. I'm not even a fan of Mike D'Antoni. I like him. He's a nice guy, but I'm not a fan of his. I don't think he's a great coach. I don't think he had he had a couple of good players, but he never took them far enough. And I heard that he may be going to Indiana. I don't know how that comes about when he's coaching Houston in the playoffs. I don't know if his contract is up or so that's that. What do you think of the playoffs, Lou? You have any idea what's going on?
Nope.
No.
No
So I would tell you a little story. So I went into the, we're here in the bubble.
Hold on.
What
I'll
was
tell you
that?
the latest candidate
Go ahead.
coaching job, and that's Jerry Stackhouse.
For who?
Pelicans.
That could be good. What has he been doing?
I have no idea.
Has he been
really? He like faded away.
Cliff Robinson died.
Right. Yeah. There was a Cliff Robinson. Pretty young. 53. Pretty young. So we're in the bubble. We have to wear masks, so we're still wearing masks. Who's sick of masks?
I am.
Rick, you said, Lou, you sick of masks?
Without it all the time.
Steve, you don't even have a mask because you don't go anywhere.
Well, I have masks. I do go to the doctor's office every once in a while, but that's about it.
Oh, yeah, I got to show you. I wish I had a lot of these masks. I got to show you this one.
Yeah. Hair's getting long, Todd.
He's in the bubble.
He's in the bubble, yeah. I haven't got my haircut yet. Don't worry. Not that I have much.
I got my NBA mask, you see?
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Very nice.
I only wear it during games. So, Well,
They
today
made
I
us
would wear my
special
mask. It got
masks.
soaked, and you got to wear a mask when you come into the place. And I'm sick of masks. I never want to see another mask again. I really don't. And people, so I'm walking through a little group of people, and in one of the rooms, and my mask is down here because I have bad allergies and I can't breathe. I'm swollen. My if anyone knows me, they know that oh yeah. Wait, so Albert says, I'm tired of masks, especially when I eat a burrito for lunch. That pretty much means he doesn't want, and he doesn't want to breathe his own burrito after scent, I guess, right? So I'm walking in this room, and and again, I have a hard time breathing. So I go like this, and then, if I'm around people, I lift it, but I'm pretty much like that. And they freaked out, like, you're going to kill us. You have to put that on. We don't want your germs. You're going to die. I mean, they're really like freaked out. I call them the scaredy cats. So I walk back later and they're eating and their masks are down. Off. And I go, wait a second. Your mask is down. And he says, well, I'm eating. And I didn't respond, but all I'm thinking is, so when you're eating, do the germs not come out of your mouth? So like, don't be a hypocrite about it. If you're going to be that way all the way. Don't be a hypocrite. You can't do it. You can't be like, oh, it works when I want it to work, but not when you want it to work.
Let me make a point here.
Yeah, go ahead.
They tell you to cough or sneeze into your elbow. Am I correct?
Only when I'm at the proctologist.
But the contradiction is they want you to greet people with your elbow.
You sneeze and cough in your elbow? Your elbow is like wide open. There's
exactly.
Germs. What is your germ? Now you're walking around with germs all over your sweater. So that makes no sense. Yeah, but
I am saying that. I agree. It makes sense.
Right? Like, let's come up with something to fool people.
Clap like this and then greet each other, bumping elbows.
Yeah.
The other day I did because I carry a handkerchief and tissues and I had this and I'm like, I'm feeling the sneeze. You know how you feel the tickle? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking. I'm trying because then I'm going to lift it and I'm like, and right in the middle, and it's right all over my face, right?
I did the same thing.
But wear it for 3 more hours.
Right. So luckily we have plentiful of masks. I got visors, I got masks, I got goggles. I got the whole thing. And the protocol is pretty strict. We go in, we wipe everything down, wipe our before and after, and we're not allowed to show pictures, but we have plexiglass in between all the positions.
Yeah, we did too.
So so it's a very interesting setup. I'm wishing that and I'm making a suggestion to them to do because this is a huge technical achievement and there's no Olympics this year. So I think we talked about this with the last Emmy conversation. I want them to, I'm going to suggest it to the Turner people, to go in with ESPN as a co-entry because we're doing this all together in one technical thing and even include NEP on it because their engineers are outstanding dealing with all this. And going for the technical crew Emmy Award because hands down it's got to win for what it's doing. I mean, MLB's those shows are looking atrocious, with the fans and the cardboard and cutting away and back. The NBA and Turner and ESPN are doing a fabulous job with this. And I think you can't go in as a separate entry. You have to go in as a combination entry. You're both doing this together, and one show is not necessarily better than another show, although every show I'm on is better graphically. So I'll see if you guys watch the shows, you would know that. But
we can't watch it. Like I just can't.
Tomorrow night we're doing
the hard side of baseball, the hard side of it all.
Yeah.
It's just the heart out of it.
Yeah. But graphically, I'm happy. And we were doing the game. We were getting ready for Houston, Oklahoma City. And then I had a great setup that night. I was ready to go. And then Milwaukee walked out, and that was the end of that. And then we luckily got Houston, Oklahoma again. So we had a very good graphic show. And then tomorrow we're doing we are doing game one, Miami, Milwaukee, which Miami's been a surprise. There's 3 sweeps in the East and 1 4-1. That's kind of a surprise. So we'll see. But we got a couple days off. It's been raining here, and so let's go around the circle. Steve, what else is what you want to share? Why? You know what? We're going to do one. We're going to do an episode of health one day, because I know Lou's got something to talk about. Steve's got one to talk about. Rick's got mental health to talk about. Right. I got emotional health to talk about. Right. So, and then I want to talk about, anyone got any comments about anything you want to bring up before I move on with,
I bite my tongue at the RNC. That's all I could say.
about what? Why? Over what?
It's just everything was all about, praising Trump. That's the only thing I could say. Everything is praising.
Well, that's what a convention's about.
Right. Wow.
That's what it's for. I mean, you're not going to praise Bernie Sanders.
No.
The only people praising Bernie Sanders are in Venezuela. So, in Cuba. So.
The highlight.
All right.
Oh, you know what? Here was a question. Someone had a question. If Biden gets, let's say he's on the downslope, let's say, like he's not the healthiest human being in the world. And I don't mean that as a knock. I just really mean that as a truth. He seems to be lacking more and more energy. And I don't know if he's on meds or whatever when they get him going. But if he's unable to even be a candidate or do debates, what happens? Who becomes the candidate? I don't think Kamala Harris becomes a candidate, because it's not like he's president and then she takes over as president.
No,
this is just for the candidacy. So how do they decide who would take it over?
I think that they went through this, believe it or not. You may not remember when they had the scandal, the possible scandal in 2016 after that Access Hollywood tape. And they were talking seriously. What would they do if they had to replace Donald Trump? Mm-hmm. I think it had, don't quote me, but I think it had something to do with the RNC having to do, or the DNC, whatever the particular situation would be.
Right.
To get together and do something, because you can't have the convention again, obviously.
No. And I wonder what would happen, because there could be great uproars about who they want and, who the second delegate person is. I don't know how they pick something like that. It would be very interesting if the DNC, if it just goes into their hand.
I'm sure we could look it up. I'm sure it's
right.
It did come up last time. I just don't remember what the answer was.
Right. That could be a future topic. So here's some future topics. I want to do, I don't know. I think Lou was in on it. I don't know if Rick was. I don't think Steve was. When we did we did logos. Remember, we did hockey logos.
Yeah.
I think the next one, you could have fun with baseball and football logos. Football starting back, and I just like talking about logos.
Are they starting back?
Football starting back.
Okay.
Football starting back. And four.
Football game.
What was that?
Today there was a live football game on ESPN.
College?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Sure. And who was in the stands? Anybody or no?
I don't think there was anybody in the stands, to be honest with you.
Right.
I couldn't see.
I think there are 4 teams that are going to have people in the stands. And if that's successful, I would imagine that other teams will have people in the stands. And the NBA, I heard, is starting. Well, the goal, I thought initially, was to start December 1st, but I heard Adam Silver talk about. He was interviewed pushing it into 2001. He wants to have fans there. So, do you remember when Adam Silver was talking about with Donald Sterling when all that was going on?
Yeah.
Right. I never understood why they didn't call it the Sterling Silver press conference. I thought that was that was right there. That was so obvious to me. The Sterling Silver press conference. but they didn't do it. So I don't know when they're going to start that because he wants fans. So I think this is very important to see how the fans work out in the NFL. That's going to be a lot of that's going to play because they got to have fans back. They don't want to have no fans. So I think logos is going to be a future topic.
I like nicknames.
What was that?
Nicknames.
Nicknames.
That was a fun session. Player nickname.
Did we did cool names like sports, cool sport, but we didn't do nicknames, right?
No.
We didn't do nicknames. We could do nicknames. We'd have to come up with a lot of them. And but that's a good one. That's a good one. And maybe we could play like a little quiz. Someone could have it and say what was his real name. And
Trivia
things
would be good. Trivia.
Huh?
Trivia.
Trivia would be good. Personal to me, I want to do bands famous from cover songs because I just want to play some music. And I want to do great musical performances who are not the leads of bands. For instance, Vanilla Fudge drummer Carmine Appice was an unbelievable drummer and a great performer to watch. So I want to like bring some of that stuff out just to show people and have fun like for performances. But I got to figure out this audio thing. I'm very surprised that you couldn't hear this audio. I am shocked. Let me try it again. I don't know. I thought
Gambling going on in there.
I don't know why, because they told me that this would work.
Mute your mic now.
So do you hear this or no?
No.
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 Try muting your mic.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that because they told me if I shared it, then it would work. And I don't like that.
But hold on. Did you turn the volume on it?
Yeah, because I could hear it. I could hear it.
Okay.
I could hear it. So I got to figure that one out because I also want to do some I want to break down some music videos, to get away from sports a little bit because not everybody's sports oriented, but I want to get into some music videos and break down and just for fun and have some fun with the music videos and how they're directed and what went on in them. And I'm going to bring on a friend of mine that, works on things like that. Oh, here's one, just a little fun non-topic. What's worse? UFC fighting brutality, which is so popular.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Or showing naked girls or girls in bikinis, which we rarely see on TV, which is peaceful and pleasurable.
Yeah, I saw it tonight. Forget it. The girl should not have been wearing one.
There's a lot, right? But one is violent and one is peaceful. But violence is like prevalent in our society, right?
It's on TV every day. What do you think?
I don't know. That just hit me the other day. And then I was thinking this. Like, you never notice, like, someone is in porn, they're called a porn star. Like, if someone's in a movie, they're not necessarily a movie star. They may have in the background. But why is somebody in a porn star? Why are they a star?
They call all people who are in porn stars?
I would guess. I don't.
If you're a guy who's on the side that no one ever sees, do you just call him a porn star?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they consider them porn. I mean, the girls and guys I've dated were all considered. Yeah, this is true though. This is true. I dated a girl in porn. I dated a girl in porn, and one day she goes, "This is true." She goes, "Oh my God, my last boyfriend, he was in porn too. He was so big. Being with you is so much better." I'm like, oh, that's great. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. And then we're driving along. You're in Hollywood, and we're driving, and she goes, "Oh, I remember shooting in that house." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Remind me of your past life, so I could remember all these people."
Yeah. All these guys she slept with.
Right.
I can think of only one porn star that's crossed over into the mainstream, and she is no longer there.
She's no longer here.
Sasha, right?
Sasha, exactly.
Yeah, Sasha.
What did she become that she was mainstream? What do you mean she was mainstream?
Well, she was in Entourage.
In the Entourage show.
Yep, exactly, Lou.
Oh yeah, but do you Sasha Grey?
Sasha
Right?
Grey. That's it. Yeah.
Right, because I remember her from that too. Do you think though she continued doing porn, or because I never seen her again in anything?
I don't know, but she hasn't done any mainstream from other than the Entourage series.
Yeah, that's what and Tracy Lords went mainstream. She
That's right.
she went mainstream, and I remember when I was. Oh, look, who do I have under here? We got somebody. Who is this? Who is this? Oh, look, Albert's coming on. Albert, look who's making an appearance.
What's going on here?
Could you hear us or no?
Anything.
Is your video on?
Effective
Why am I not
equipment.
hearing anything? Microsoft.
Do you hear us? Put a thumbs up if you hear us.
You hear us?
Can you hear me talk?
We
Yeah.
hear
I
you.
can hear you
Yes.
guys though. That's
You don't
weird.
hear us. You don't hear us. So he's got the opposite of what Paulina had. So
Man, that's so weird.
so I was once doing an audition at my house for I forget which show it was, America's Hottest Cheerleaders or a pageant or something. And these girls showed up, and they were in porn, and one of them was she was like an AVN award winner. And Andy, we have a question from Andy Brill. Is Rick in a hospital bed?
And
Now he's just laying down.
Just doesn't give up. I'm in a bed. Yes.
He's laying down. I think I think Andy's how you been anyway? Let's hear he's the master of the MLB crowd. Hopefully we could get Albert on. Albert, could you hear us yet? Poor Albert. Albert, trying to point down to Albert.
I got it. Now.
You can hear us?
I can hear you now.
Great, we can hear you. So welcome to Albert.
Yeah, well, I figured I was old enough to join this group and stuff. So
Mr. Albert Cantu.
how's everything doing?
We're
A
good.
Houston,
Thanks,
a Houston transplant to Los Angeles who very indebted to, has helped me out with some editing, and we worked on shows together, and he's an outstanding operator at what he does, and he's also an outstanding editor. I don't know if he still does it anymore.
Yeah, I haven't edited in a long time, unfortunately.
No, he was great.
I kind of
You're
feel
great
bad
at
that I still have the skills, but I just don't have a reel anymore that anybody would be impressed with. Or
Right.
actually hire me with anymore and stuff.
Albert is a world traveler too. Has this been going on? Have you been anywhere?
No,
Albert does a lot of boxing. Why don't you tell him what your main thing is?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a time where I was doing just about every Golden Boy and every Top Rank show.
Graphics wise, he's a graphics person.
Wise.
Like I am.
But I've been lucky that I do the international side for Top Rank with Marty Corwin, which I'm sure everybody's worked with at one point or another and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's kept me busy. I guess I got lucky in that Top Rank does their shows now.
Are they still doing them?
They just started up again. They did from June until July. From the beginning of June, July, they were doing 2 shows a week in Vegas. So I was there for 4 or 5 days and stuff. And it was a nice gig because I got paid for being there the whole time, but I really only worked 2 days and stuff. Except, I had a setup where, I had to do my own. I had to do artwork and stuff like that, and be prepared for the show, do some research.
Right.
But usually I'd have Wednesday off. The shows were Tuesday, Thursday, which were perfect days. I wish they were still Tuesday, Thursday. Now they're back to Saturday.
Right.
So now I got to make a decision on shows I do and stuff.
Why? Why would you have to decide?
Well, when they were I didn't. I usually didn't get a lot of work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but everybody hires me Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday and stuff. So for the most part. So, but no. So they were off for about a month, and then they just started up last week. Again, doing one show, do a show every Saturday. I think they're pretty much.
That's great, though. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's good. I can't complain. It's kept me busy and stuff.
Right. But Albert
with a couple of
Albert traveled a lot to South America and to Mexico, and
Well, I was doing another show called Combate Americas with Univision, and those guys were doing half their shows in Mexico and South America. So we went to Peru a couple of times, and then we went to all over Mexico.
You know what you should do? You should go when you're on the road in the Spanish countries. You should do burrito testing. Like if you like burritos, say we are here. They don't
really eat burritos in Peru or in South America.
No, they don't. I don't know.
Well, I went
as a matter of fact, outside of Mexico, no other Latinos eat with tortillas. Like Mexicans are really about the only ones that eat tortillas.
I didn't know that.
I did a version of it, but
I did a gig in Mexico, and I'm not a fan of spicy food, so Spanish food is really tough for me. So I couldn't eat any of that food. And then when I got back, though, I went right to Taco Bell. I like real tacos. Or not Del Taco.
I think I posted on Facebook once and stuff because they had a Taco Bell right down the street from me and stuff. And I live in a predominantly Latino neighborhood where I live and stuff. And they were knocking
still in
down.
Studio City, or did you move?
No, I live in Van Nuys, Panorama City and stuff.
Right.
Area.
I love that name, Panorama. Yeah.
They were knocking it down to put in a Starbucks. And I said, man, look at my neighborhood's getting
gentrified. Oh, no. Another Starbucks? Yeah. Starbucks closed a lot of stores.
There aren't enough of that.
You know what Starbucks does? Starbucks is not franchise. Starbucks is company owned, and Starbucks is company owned. And what I think they do is they very cheap coffee. But if you could make $100 over your rent a day, so you're making $100, and if you have 10,000 stores, you're making $1 million a day, and that's talking minimum. So they're not going for price; they're going for cheap and quantity. So they sell a lot of it, and that's how they make all their money because, what do you get a coffee for like $2 there, and I'm not a Starbucks fan at all. I can't. So think about this. We're talking about logos and names. I've thought about this. Starbucks. How do you name a company Starbucks? Where do you come up with that? Like, I'm sure this could be looked up on Wiki too, but I don't know if it would be the truth because I think my explanation is more valid.
Actually, the one place, well, not to get off the topic, but the one place that I don't.
But you're going to.
Well, I don't find Starbucks is when the first time I went to Colombia, there are very few, if any, Starbucks there and stuff.
Colombia, I can't even. They probably shoot them out of business.
Yeah. Well, they have Juan Valdez there. Juan Valdez is their big franchise.
Yeah,
Juan Valdez cafes.
Yeah. Right, Steve, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I said, what's your explanation?
Oh, okay. So Starbucks, to me, it's such a bad coffee, but for some reason it relates to people. So a star is a pentagram, right? And star is a pentagram, sign of the devil. Bucks is money. Bucks equal money. Where else? They're not talking about a deer, right? Bucks. So I consider Starbucks money for the devil. That's how I look at Starbucks.
Money for the devil.
And I will not have Starbucks. I will not, if I could help, like in the Delta lounges, they have Starbucks and it bothers me because I think it's subtly money for the devil. Where else do you come up with a name like that?
That reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George was trying to convince everyone that manure wasn't really a bad name and stuff.
Manure?
But newer.
Right. But could anybody else come up with, unless someone's going to look it up on Wiki, anybody else have an explanation of Starbucks?
No, not a clue.
I have no idea. But I do agree. Like, it's funny. You go to like when I was in Colombia, it's like, I find that I think the Americans just like their coffee's really roasted, like a lot heavier or almost burnt compared to like other places you go when you're a coffee aficionado. You tend to drink coffee that's less.
I think American coffee. I
think coffee has become another acceptance of mediocrity because everybody's got Keurigs now, and even the Mr. Coffees. Like good coffee.
There.
Wait, we have an explanation from both Albert and my friends Chris Starbucks chose this name because it evokes the romance of the high seas and seafaring tradition of the early coffee traders. Okay, that's probably like what I said. That's probably the Starbucks explanation, but it makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Starbucks.
Starbucks. What are they following the stars and the and Bucks? So where's Bucks in the romance come in? Paying the girl to romance you? I don't. Okay, wait. So let's get his other explanation. There's a character in this book named Starbuck, Captain Ahab's first mate and no nonsense crew member of the. Oh, interesting. So, we got another guest about to come on too. Thank you, Chris, for those. Kind of straightened it out, but there's Andy. I don't know if he could hear us, but he's cooking.
I think it's Andy's salad more than
Andy's making dinner. Andy's salad. Let's say hello to Andy's salad.
Yeah.
So
gotta unmute.
There he goes. Andy's cooking dinner. You know, it's one of the tough things is, figuring out a time on when to do these because it's East Coast, West Coast. So glad Chris was here to join us. Some people
watch him.
You need some sound effects.
He's got his mic silenced.
That is, Steve gave me a very long explanation.
That's from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I'm aiming
Moby
for
Dick
Rick's
didn't have
head.
anything to do with Starbucks directly. It was only coincided with this. I thought of a Starbucks commercial years ago. Where like they're signing the Declaration of Independence and they're so tired and they're waiting. And then someone shows up with all the Starbucks and they all get excited and they finally could sign everything. And with their beautiful flowery signatures, I thought that would have been a cool commercial. So thanks for that research on that. And Starbo.
Yeah, Starbo.
I like my explanation better. It's more fun. It makes sense. And the crappy coffee that they serve can only be made by the devil. So again, like Keurig coffee. Albert, how do you make coffee?
Well, I don't buy the actual. I brought back a bunch of stuff when I got from Colombia, some different blends, and so I have a little thing where I can make my own coffee in it, so like my own different.
You brought stuff back from Colombia, but what about the coffee?
What do you mean? I'm making the Keurig and it's great. It's just
that went right over his head. That went right over.
I brought that some of that. Yeah, exactly.
But maybe you would have stopped at my house and dropped off a sample.
Sorry about that.
That's great.
So when you're in Colombia, how do they make the coffee there?
With hot water.
But they don't use a Keurig or anything.
No, they use brewers just like this. I mean, if you go to coffee shops, just like the Juan Valdez coffee
brewers,
shops.
Yeah.
That's the name of the coffee shops, Juan Valdez.
Yeah, they're Juan Valdez cafes. It was a big. I mean, obviously you're old enough to know Juan Valdez.
Yeah, I remember the commercials.
Very famous here.
But it was a big conglomerate back. I mean, they were like not a conglomerate. They were kind of a big co-op of farmers all over Colombia, and then so they ended up making that the brand. It's a brand that they had of all these different farmers all over Colombia and stuff.
Interesting.
And so, but yeah, it's like their thing is their Juan Valdez cafes, but they're exactly like Starbucks for the most part. The way they make it. The only thing is, it's just that they have locally. I mean, I guess their coffees are a little more locally grown and stuff, and
it's got to be so fresh.
And it's what's set for the taste of Colombians more so than it is for like say.
Is it pretty strong?
Food. No, it's less than that. I was saying, I think Americans tend to like their stuff like almost burnt or harder, whereas I think when coffee is roasted right, you don't taste kind of a burnt or charredness. You taste the subtleness of the bean itself. I
remember walking by. I think it was Kansas City, maybe a Folgers warehouse. And I smell they were roasting the beans, and it was what a fragrance that was.
Yeah.
I want to see how this looks.
Folgers factory.
I like that one.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
I like them. No, you're the star. That's why.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Wait, there we go. I want to get rid of that. There we go.
No, but I miss travel. I haven't been on an airplane since March, and I miss it. And obviously, my girlfriend's Colombian, and so I haven't been able to see her since then. I mean, those guys are on lockdown. Like they haven't had flights. They haven't had international or local flights
Right.
in Colombia since March and stuff.
Right.
Like no airplane. They have. I mean,
Well,
only
was
like-
it? Is it just climbing there, just now?
Well, it wasn't. The numbers weren't as bad, but yeah, it's been climbing a lot more there. But I think like everything else, I think it's starting. There's just like we are in the U.S. starting to see declines and stuff.
Right. I
Is
got.
that Andy over there or Dexter?
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers they have are nowhere near what. I mean, I think they're.
You know that Dexter used to live next to me. He used to live
Yeah?
2 doors
I
down
remember
from
you
me.
telling me that, Todd.
Yeah, but wait. Oh, I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
Hey, I'm from Jersey. Are you from Jersey?
There we go. I finally got it on there.
You
I
got
wanted
it?
to
Did you
have-
guys hear it?
I love that one. Could you hear that, Albert? Did you hear it?
I didn't hear it.
I
Did
heard
anyone
it.
hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Lou, you didn't hear it?
Yep.
no.
Oh, I wonder why.
I heard it.
Well,
It went
what
to
about
like a
this?
full
What about this
screen.
one? I know I'm revisiting these. What about this one?
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.
That was on last night. I was watching it.
Did you watch the whole thing, or it's
No,
a
I-
long movie? But
Who did it right
I don't think it's too long. But
yeah.
that makes me want to cry when I watch that
Oh, it's
scene.
great. Great film.
He is unbelievable. He
Marlon
is
Brando,
just-
amazing.
he is unbelievable, and I'd like to know about his career. He's just like in so many movies that were so good. And
Yeah.
he was kind of a nut though, kind of an acting up, but
A little bit of a wacko.
yeah. But you know, if
I
you
don't know, I haven't been
notice, what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, Albert, what?
No,
You
I
haven't
was just
been
going to
out?
ask you how have you been with the bubble? I haven't been on these chats with you guys to hear how being that long in
The
isolation.
bubble. I
and
got
stuff.
2 weeks to go. I have my calendar right there. You can't see it,
Yeah.
and I cross off the days. So I have, after I cross off 14, I have 13 days to go. I am very, very excited to get
I was
home.
kind of.
Yeah.
I felt like I was kind of lucky that ESPN when they did that whole 2 months of fighting, those 2 days a week. I wasn't part of the ESPN crew. I was part of the international crew, so I didn't actually have to be in the bubble. We were actually in a truck,
Mhm.
like in the compound, but they fenced us off, and it's like we were like the leper colony that didn't.
So did they test you a lot or no?
No, well, I got tested. I went to the state and got tested by the state and stuff.
All right.
But
So
we
I
didn't-
like the situation here. I think it's very controlled. We get tested twice a week. I've been
Yeah.
tested like 12 times already.
The
And,
RNC, they tested us twice. Every 2 days they were testing us.
Right. So I like that. And the results come back, the next morning, early 2, 3 in the
Yeah.
morning.
Well, I did a
And,
Golden Boy show, and I had to do that. We showed up, and then we all had went our rooms, and then they called us in, and we all did the test, and then we all had to stay there till the next morning.
I did the first
So I had
couple.
3 days. I had 3 days of that where it was like literally. Rooms
How'd they do your
and-
test? Did they do it high up the nose, a little?
Oh yeah, he put it way up.
Oh,
I mean,
my
I could
God.
feel it right behind my eyeball where he was.
Oh, see,
going
they
around and stuff.
they do
Oh,
ours
my
low.
God.
They do ours low, and I think the reason is they don't want any of us to come up positive, so they do it so minimally to make sure we at least show up negative, so we could all keep working.
Well, when
And
I
then-
got it done by this, when I got it done by the state, they would just they make me cough in my car like a couple of times, and then they'd swab the back of my throat and stuff.
Right.
The show I work
That's
on
where they
in
did it.
the show I work on in Connecticut told us like a week, the next month they said, well, this test is only 85%. Hello.
Well, I think if you come up positive, they got to do another one. And Andy, what are you making over there?
I'm making my lunch for tomorrow.
Are you going to work tomorrow? Or is that for your carry-on?
That's coming with me to work. Yeah.
Okay. And so you're making salad. What else we got?
Salad and steak.
Ooh,
Nice.
That sounds
pretty
great.
good. That sounds and healthy. That's good. And
Yeah.
I've been eating pretty good. I lost I would say about 13 pounds right now. And then a friend of mine was having pizza tonight, and I really wanted. I said no, I'm not going to
Yeah,
do it.
that's
He
gonna
wanted
be one of
deep
our
dish, and I couldn't do it. I really wanted to, but
That's going to be one of our subjects in the future.
Which one? Oh, you wanted to do meals, crew meals on the road or something.
Freelance diet.
Oh, yeah.
Freelance diet.
Place.
I got lucky, man. I went fishing with my friend Scott Walker, and I ended up catching this big freaking ling cod.
Scott Walker,
and stuff.
the governor?
No, Scott Walker, the EVS guy. and stuff.
Scott,
He lives in San Diego and stuff. And we went
Yeah.
fishing. Man, I caught a freaking huge ass fish and stuff. So I've been eating on that thing.
I think
Yeah,
San
that's a lot.
Diego is going to be one of the baseball bubbles. I
Yeah?
think that's one of the
Great
going to be
town.
one of the playoff baseball bubbles. But yeah, I think that's good. Freelance diets are that could be a topic in the future. And we could all talk about our favorite cities, our favorite food cities, the junk that we eat. So Andy is lucky because he's going to be working obviously in his local town because he's cooking food and bringing it with him. But when you're on the road, it ain't that easy. It's
Right.
a different ball game, when you're traveling. So Andy, when you drove down to DC, where'd you stop to eat? Do you remember?
I brought a cooler of my own food for the trip.
Oh, Andy's pretty healthy. You could see those guns he's got hanging out of his shirt. And
I gained the COVID-19 from mid-March to mid-May, and then I've lost 43 since then.
Nice.
you had COVID?
No, I gained 19 pounds,
Oh, you gained.
Around.
and
Just
then
by
I lost
sitting around.
40, and then I lost 43.
43 pounds.
43.
Yeah,
For you.
I went up, then I went down.
You finally went to the bathroom?
I mean, it took a few weeks, but yeah, I got there.
Wow, that's a lot.
Great to lose 43 pounds.
That's a net 24 pounds.
Yeah, I ended up losing twice as much as I gained originally, which was pretty cool.
How did you do that? What was your regimen?
More water, less carbs, eating something every 2.5 to 3 hours.
What did you get rid of that was big? Did you get rid of like alcohol? Did you get rid of bread? Was there anything you just really?
I haven't had the only beverages I've had are water and coffee in the last 15
Hey,
weeks.
when you gained it, what were you doing?
Just inactivity combined with eating very large portion sizes.
That's a problem. Like that's when me and
big
Paulina
problem.
go out, we get one meal, unless she's paying. We get one meal and we split it because, whatever they give us on the plate, we just eat it. It's like it doesn't matter how much food it is, and
Yeah.
you just eat. So if we split it,
I said that tonight, actually.
right, you just split it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel like that's why I don't want to. I mean, not that I'm not a big fan of buffets, but like I used to be when I was younger. But like I don't like buffets because I feel like I got to get my money's worth and stuff. When
That's
you
Right.
the problem. That's the problem being on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
You go to all you could eat and you're you ever notice this? And I'm gonna do a candy bar one of these days. And I have all the candy bars. I have it all set what I want to do. But you ever notice you could have a candy bar and you take a bite and it's all you're gonna have. You put it down. But then you crave it, you can take another bite. And you keep eating it until it's done. And once it's done, you don't crave it anymore. That's a weird thing to me. I don't understand how the brain works on that. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you take a bite of something and you put it down, you go back for it. You go back until you finish it. Even if it's regular food, until you finish it, and then you're done. Once you finish it, you're done. I don't know. That's for me anyway. That's just but portion control is huge.
Huge.
That's huge.
I agree.
Yes.
That's huge. Buffets, you got all you could eats. I like the Korean barbecue all you could eats. I like those. I wonder if Albert, you think they've been open?
What?
Korean barbecue? Do you eat any in LA? Do you go to Korean barbecue?
No, I have in the past, but honestly I haven't eaten. I haven't even gone to a restaurant to eat. And in LA or in California, or at least in LA, all the restaurants are outdoors now. If you can't sit outdoors, you can't.
Same here in Louisiana.
They can't.
Right.
Yeah, and honestly, I end up I'll order something and I'll go pick it up, and so that's something that I used to love. Yeah, Korean barbecue, or going down to Little Tokyo and stuff, and getting shabu shabu, or getting. I haven't even had sushi, which is something I love to eat and stuff because I just.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because to me, Korean barbecue is fairly healthy because it's just meat and it, the fat gets cooked off it. Steve, have you ever had Korean barbecue?
I put the food away.
Huh? No, I
No.
never had it either. Paulina took me, and it's delicious. It's great. They just bring you the meat. You pick out different things, and I mean, who doesn't love like pig intestines and cow balls and
Actually, my favorite place. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Alvin.
No, my favorite place to get in Korean food was like when we do shows at Madison Square Garden for boxing because we get done late, and even in New York, it was like Koreatown was one of the few places.
It's right down the street. It's right.
Yeah, it's right down the street, and it was
Is
one of the
it
few places that
Koreatown?
was open till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
A block and a half over.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
that.
guess it's called Jirongo I forgot what it's called. It was
There's
one of
a
my favorite
whole
places.
line of restaurants.
33rd Street.
Yeah.
Really? And it's all
Third
Korean
and,
barbecue, huh?
Yeah.
But it's one of the few places that you can get like a real like kind of meal at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I would go and finish at 1, and then I'd go eat my Korean barbecue, then pack my bags and head to Newark to get my flight without going to bed.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because the diners are open and that will be open. And so Korean barbecue is like, that's the one all you could eat now. Like how when you do boxing, they give you a
Post pizza.
Well, no, they get when you eat in the employee buffet, like in the MGM or something.
Oh yeah, the
you know what I'm
EBR.
talking about? And it's a ton of
Employee
food.
diner.
It's just a ton of food, and it's.
I
I
think
remember.
the
Do you
best
work
one was
with Do you work with Buffer at all?
Michael Buffer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to travel with him. He and I would travel a lot together because he lived in LA. So
He's a
he and
pretty
I would
nice
always be
guy.
on the same- Oh yeah, he was super nice guy. As a matter
Yeah, I
of fact,
sat next to him once on. He travels out of Burbank.
yeah, no, we'd fly to LAX a lot, but he was a super nice guy. Like we would sit and talk and all the time, and like he would get people into the lounge with him and stuff, just people that come up and hang with him and stuff. And yeah, he'd say hi to everybody. But Michael Buffer, yeah,
I heard he did a drinking contest, and he goes, "Let's get ready to mumble.
Yeah,
Let's get ready to stumble."
I didn't do that with him and stuff, but
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah,
I don't know. One day I came up with like all these things. An angry contest. Let's get ready to grumble. I came up with all these. Let's get ready to rumble. The man that made the most money on one phrase. You know who's luckier than he is? His brother. Oh God, what's his name?
Bruce.
Oh,
Bruce.
Bruce.
That guy. What was that guy even doing before the UFC? He wasn't announcing boxing, was he?
It's funny, you guys, right before I got on, you guys were talking about the violence of UFC and like people just like that and stuff. But a lot of people they comment to me about how especially this was a funny one. It was like people who work NFL were telling me, "Oh man, how could you work boxing? It's just so violent and stuff like that." And I said, "I don't know. I think I've seen more football players carried out on stretchers than I've seen boxers carried out on stretchers."
I remember doing a UFC events once, and I was walking. They were all set. They were setting up, and I just wanted to see what it was like. So they have, when you walk out, there's a big thing. It's all lit up. It's a big presentation, and I'm walking, and I go through, and I'm looking at the octagon. The fence is up, and I'm walking to it, and all I'm thinking is to myself, how could anybody be doing this knowing you're gonna, even if you win, you're gonna get the crap beat out of you? Like, I don't get the mentality. They love it.
They love
like
hitting. They love being hit, dude. I believe me.
I've it was women. I did one in London for Showtime. There were women.
I did a women one. The groupies are unbelievable. The female groupies at the one I went to. Oh my God, they were unbelievable. They love those girls.
I mean, look at Oscar De La Hoya is coming back and stuff. I mean, that guy's got. I mean, he's still. People still know who he is, and he's got.
He's
a lot
coming
of money.
back. Who's he going to fight?
It's Mosley, I think. No, is it Mosley? Yeah. No, it's he's fighting
people in
he's fighting
restaurants.
he's fighting what's his name? Oh, I forgot. Not Mosley. God, I can't.
Now, are they all going to be wearing Are both fighters going to be wearing stockings, or just
maybe and stuff?
And
but I mean, those guys, you talk to them, and they love the sport. And people keep talking. They say, "Wow, but just so violent to teach people to do that. But it's just the opposite. I think a lot of these kids who were uncontrolled and just violent,
Right.
you know, that was a way to focus them. And because if you're a boxer, you just can't be out there kicking people's asses. You have to control your emotions. You have to control all
That's
those
like, can
things.
you imagine running into one of these UFC guys in a bar
Eh,
and oh my God, and something happens? They're like animals.
yeah.
They're animals. They won't
No mercy. No mercy.
No, I agree with you. I think those guys are definitely a lot more driven by their adrenaline and stuff.
We have a Mr. James Jimno. He drove for NEP. Great guy. I think he still does. And I used to help him load the truck. So his use a small plate of ball to put foot in looks like a lot more, and you could eat till you finish it all. That's isn't that the same kind of analogy as a girl with small hands? Is that the same thing? You know. So thank you for on that note. So what time we got here? Oh, you know what? We're gonna wrap it up, and yeah, I think maybe I'll take a survey. I got to figure out how to do a poll for what we. Oh, wait, Andy, are you in your hospital bed now? Andy's in his hospital bed.
I didn't want Rick to feel lonely.
Right.
I'm not.
Oh. Tell me, does oh wait, no, wait. Let me do the boxes move on your end when I do that?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay. That's a new thing. So I went to sign on today to do it, and this whole thing comes up. You can now do this, you can now do that. And so
well, if you get 3 more people on, we can play Hollywood Squares and stuff.
Yeah. You can get 10. I would love to do some kind of trivia game.
Oh,
I really would.
Trivia before,
right? But like something fun, a cool game, and
Paul Lind's greatest lines from Hollywood Squares.
Right. Maybe we need Paul Lind on here.
Yes.
Did you ever see that documentary on Paul Lind? I didn't know he lived such a not a cruel, like a beaten life. Like he was it wasn't, he didn't have an easy life. Let's put it that way.
Really?
And, yeah, he had a great documentary on him. And so, if we could figure out a cool game to play and get because we can get up to 10 guests and maybe we can get people doing comments and stuff. And, yeah, I like that we touched a little bit on politics. We don't want to get into it too much because someone posted something today and I made one comment. It was about criminals and stuff and how police, and I said, in the country, there's a small percentage in the whole country. It's a small percentage of bad police. I mean, they're bad police. They're bad everything. Small. And then I said, but what percentage of criminals are bad? I would say a lot more of them. And then someone just attacked me. And I deleted the post because I don't want to get into debates or arguments with anybody. It's not worth it. And but it's just amazing that the people attack, and it's like, where's the intelligent debates anymore? Where are they? Where did they go?
There's no more civil discourse. There's no more civil discourse.
Right. Why does it have to be that way? It's like people are angry. Why can't you just, have an argument, support it? Don't be attacking. And
it's easier having civil discourse when you're speaking to someone one-on-one. I find it hard. People have a hard time, and I don't blame them. It's not easy to have a Facebook back and forth, but you have to be able to write relatively well and express your point. It's hard to do that. It's easier when you're speaking to one another. That's what I think is the biggest problem.
You think there's more vitriol, there's more anger, writing or talking?
Writing. I think there's more. I bet you the same people talking on a venue like this would do much better, much more civilized than if they write on Facebook. For all kinds of reasons. One is the writing aspect. Also, it's harder to yell at the guy when you're seeing his face. Especially if you're friends with them, and to some extent.
Right. And the thing is some of these people, I see the comments, and I am friends with them, and I never want a political idea to get in the way of a friendship, and it could happen more written than when you're together.
I agree.
Agree.
You know, because people want to respect each other, and
You would hope so. You would hope so.
Yeah.
Andy's just having a ball over there with himself,
He's amusing himself.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So,
He might
and
be
Rick
bringing-
is showing his people that he's with, and so. But you know, I we'll figure out the next pop. Maybe I'll take a poll on something, and it would be kind of cool. You know, it would be kind of cool to do a video game if you could put like a board up and share a board and show something and like a screen and like play Concentration or something. Remember Concentration with okay.
Another one.
Who was the host of Concentration back in the 60s? Probably it was.
You Downs.
You Down.
Tyson Daly.
And he just died. He just recently died. He was
Who, you or Tyson?
you did.
Yeah, you died a
He was
couple
like
of months
100 years old. He was very old.
That's an interesting
bless him, man.
name.
Good
You
life.
Downs. Look up You Downs. Was that his real name? You Downs?
You'll find out.
That's an interesting name. I never heard of I've heard of a you, but I never heard of a Downs.
Malcolm Downs.
Malcolm.
Malcolm Downs.
Yeah.
He was 99 when he died a month or so ago.
Wow.
luck.
Does it say
Good
where he
life.
was? Does it say where?
Good life.
He was at
But
the
he died in
Barker.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Wow. Yeah, that was who else was some good Gene Rayburn was a host.
Bill
and-
Cullen. Bill
Wink.
Cullen.
Bill
Martin
Cullen.
Dale.
Colin.
Did you know the story that I just realized about Bill Cullen recently?
Well, then he
Wait,
was-
did he do PDQ?
No,
Remember
that
that
was
game?
that was
Bob
the other
Eubanks.
guy. The
Bob
guy.
Eubanks was the Newlywed
Dating
game.
game or something like that.
Newlywed
One of
game.
those.
Wait, so what's the story about?
Newlywed game.
What's the story about?
He
Bill
apparently was born or had a physical handicap. He couldn't walk properly.
Correct.
Significant, and nobody knew it because they hid him behind this podium. And the funny, not funny story, which was told recently by Mel Brooks, and only Mel Brooks could tell the story. I can't, but he was on a show with him, and after he didn't know about his physical problem, and after the show, they cut the tape, and then they went off the air, and they went to greet each other. So Bill Cullen walks over to him, and he thinks Mel Brooks thinks he's joking. He's walking like
starts walking that
phonically
way.
to him. So Mel Brooks does the same thing. He walks over like that too, and so Bill Cullen starts laughing because you know he likes Mel Brooks, and then Mel Brooks finally realizes that he's doing this for real, and he feels awful, and he's so apologetic. But he said, "I never knew," and you find on YouTube somewhere him actually telling it's much funnier than me, and it's also kind of sad. But they hid this from people for all those years. No one ever knew about it.
Well, that's a cool story, and for some reason it sounds familiar. And I wonder if there's a tape of Bill Cullen walking. That's like who's the guy that played Radar in MASH? He had that like gimpy hand.
Oh, what was his name? Oh my God.
Gary Bergdorf or something.
Yeah, something like Bergdorf.
Something like that. And he had that. He had that hand, and he would hide it. You remember that? He had a gimpy hand, and if you watch the show, he's always hiding his hand or holding it, or he's got something that.
Dennis James is the PDQ guy.
Dennis James.
Yeah.
How do all these guys start? You know. So I wanted to do a spoof on the dating game with the gay. Call it the gating game. So.
The gating.
You know, a long time ago, when the web started, I got an AOL was big. I actually went, and I don't know, I had an idea I was going to do it, but I never did. And I registered gayol.com. So you would go on and you say, you remember AOL, you go on, and if you had mail or something, so you go on gayol and said, you've had mails.
Makes great guitar players stand out from everybody else, making hundreds of songs.
I don't know what that is, but
That was me. So I was finding this. This is the
What?
the Mel Brooks thing.
You can share your
Copy
screen.
that down and see. That's
Hey, you could send me the text and I could share the screen.
Mel Brooks on a talk show telling the
Just sent the
story
link.
that I just told very poorly. So if you want to copy that YouTube site down.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
If you want to get a great laugh, I guess you guys will remember, but Daryl Hammond, Sean Connery on Saturday Night Live were the funniest bits.
About
Daryl
Celebrity Jeopardy he's talking
Yeah,
about.
Will Ferrell, exactly. Will Ferrell
Oh,
was
yeah,
playing Alex Trebek.
Yeah, it was
And
fun.
those were funny.
Oh, I thought it was funny. I came across on YouTube like Rodney Dangerfield when he would be on the Tonight Show and stuff.
I love those.
Those
Love,
two would
love,
just
love
play
those.
off each other and stuff. It was like,
Oh my God.
oh, those were
He
hilarious.
was
That's
great.
classic comedy.
The one-liners that just Dangerfield would just come up with and stuff. Were just, and
yeah,
then
let's see if we
incredible.
could get this. Let's see if we get this.
No audio.
yeah.
No audio again?
Yeah.
I don't know
Turn the
what
volume up. Turn the volume up. It's not up.
I did. There's something.
Really?
Yeah. It's yeah, wait.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they're right there. Nothing.
I still don't.
You don't hear it?
No.
No.
I don't know what happened. Oh, there's our logos behind it. So, all righty, folks.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. I know some of us got to work tomorrow. Some of us don't.
Andy's got to work. Good, Andy. Where you going,
I'm
Andy?
tucked in for the night.
I'm
CBS?
going to Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh, I'll be there in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Oh, good.
I'll make sure I'm not there that day.
Again, you start. You have to start all the time.
Oh, if you're going to be
You walk right into it every time.
I try to
you
be nice to
get
you.
6 feet apart and have lunch together.
Yeah.
Get 6 feet apart.
Well,
But
my
No, I don't
battery's
know.
about to die.
I wasn't.
Okay, so-
Real quick,
Go ahead.
food for thought for everyone to discuss for the future if you didn't bring it up earlier. But the most divisive thing that happened today was that Sylvester Stallone announced that he's releasing a director's cut of Rocky IV, and he's editing out all of the Paulie robot scenes.
Paulie Robot?
Yeah, do you remember Paulie's robot?
Yeah,
in
robot.
Rocky IV?
He bought it for what's it for? Paul? Yeah, Paulie and stuff. Yeah.
You know, I don't think I saw Rocky IV.
Robot.
Why would he cut them out?
I can't believe you've never seen Rocky IV. That's just un-American.
I saw Bullwinkle too.
Yeah.
Why
Not-
don't you pull a rabbit out of that?
Which one is that?
yeah.
Is that the one where he fought the
20
big
Rockies.
Russian guy, or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out.
I came across-
It came out 35 years ago, so you have a little bit of catching up to do.
I do. I just saw, and I want to go back to the robot thing in a second, but I just saw Jason Statham in Homefront. I love movies. First of all, I love him. I think he would have been a great James Bond. He just beats the crap out of everybody. I love that guy. I love beating the villains.
It's funny. I came across like Rambo 2 the other day. Man, I just didn't realize how I saw that one as a kid, but I didn't realize how violent that movie really was.
Is it? I got to watch Rambo 2 too. I got 2 movies now to watch.
Rambo and Rocky IV came out in the same year.
Unhinged with Russell Crowe is coming out tomorrow. If you go to see it, pay particular attention to the very end. You might see somebody you know. Hint.
You?
That's correct.
Wow, we got which movie is that? What's the name of it?
Unhinged. Russell Crowe.
Why are you in the movie?
I was doing extra work, background
Oh,
work.
Wow.
nice.
And that's it's the last scene.
Yeah, I play a crime scene investigator in the last scene.
Do you talk or no?
Nice.
No,
Oh, they would have had to pay you SAG rate or something.
I would kill for the
I hope you're not on the cutting room floor, Lou.
I might be. You never know.
So wait, what's the name of that one?
Unhinged.
Okay, so I gotta watch Unhinged, Rocky IV. What was yours, Albert? What was that one?
Rambo 2, the second one.
Rambo
Well, the first
2.
was First Blood, then it was Rambo.
Debbie Does Dallas.
How about
Bambi goes all the way for a buck again.
Cannonball Run?
Rambo.
See Stenner, Bob Stenner in that one. Plays the sheriff.
What? Anyway, so thanks for joining tonight.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you
Yes.
are.
Right. Let's see,
Take
we
care,
got a
guys.
little,
Good seeing you all.
You guys are really helping skew the younger demographic with all of these conversations. You're definitely going to draw them all in.
Well, but I don't know. It's just a mess right now. Sports is a mess. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with sports. It's people. Ratings are down. What are baseball ratings? Are baseball ratings? Andy, you know anything about baseball ratings or no?
I don't pay attention to ratings for sports.
Yeah, I know it's a hard thing anyway. Supposedly NBA ratings are down, but I don't know how they count on anything anymore. So much online. So, but I guess that doesn't matter because there's no advertising online. So for those games. So, all right. So I think Andy's working in town tomorrow. Albert, you got anything going on tomorrow?
No, I go back to Vegas on Friday.
Okay. Is it a big match or just a regular?
No, it's a regular one. They have the big Lomachenko fight coming up in October and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'll see. They're actually like ESPN. Most of the ESPN crew is in Bristol.
Right.
With a few people there.
Right.
But supposedly they're going to bring everybody, all the talent. Everybody's going to be there for that show. But it's going to be closed. It's going to be closed. It's going to be in that conference room.
Yeah. I got a game tomorrow, and then I'm off a couple days. So, I'm glad we got together. Worked out good. Thanks. I'm glad. Rick is taking a little respite now. I think he's going back to work soon after the RNC.
2 weeks to go back to work.
The RNC convention. And
Andy was at the White House and stuff, right?
Andy, Andy was at the White House.
Yeah, you did that. You did that whole White House thing, didn't you?
Super top secret Thursday night recon mission. That's all I will say.
Do you have an NDA on that? Like a non-disclosure? Were you not, or just personally you don't want to?
I was told that if anyone asked if I signed an NDA to say that I can't discuss. But I signed an NDA to say that I might have signed an NDA, so I can't tell you if I signed an NDA.
Right.
Okay. I think I got that.
Still on. We're getting off now.
All righty, cool. All righty. Well, okay. Andy, though, did you like what you were doing? Whatever it was.
It was terrific. It was terrific.
Game was canceled.
Do you know why it was terrific? Because I didn't run into a guy named Rick Tugman on my way.
God.
But you weren't doing a game though, right? Like last time you were there, you were doing a game. You weren't doing a game.
He would put all the people in.
Were you there for the Nationals?
Sure.
Okay. Did you get to see the fireworks?
Not up close.
Okay. They were great. They were spectacular. Again. You know what? I wish I had that. You know what? Maybe we could end it on that. Let me see something.
No, why don't you end it on Kimberly Guilfoyle screaming?
Yeah, I had to listen to it. Lou, I had listened to it like 5 times. I did it.
Why did she scream? Why was she screaming? Rick, why was she screaming?
It's because she's a show woman.
There's nobody there to scream over.
Bingo. Nobody there. Exactly.
Yeah, you figure as much time as she had on TV, she would probably know how to make it better.
All
righty, guys.
Her first husband called her a screamer.
We're going to say good night. We're going to go out on the fireworks so you could watch if you like. And thank you for joining. We'll be on next time. I was really thinking I would love to do like a morning thing and just like coffee in the morning. But the thing is, it's an East Coast, West Coast problem. That's a problem. So
brunch. Sunday brunch.
Like 10 in the morning.
People on the West Coast, that's their problem.
Right. So maybe we'll get into.
Yeah, I like joining this, but I don't know if I like 5 a.m. joining it and stuff.
Yeah, right. 7, 8, 9 o'clock.
You go to the airport
when Albert is in between getting a late night meal and catching his flight, he'll be available.
Yeah, right. He'll have Korean barbecue hanging out.
Right from Koreatown.
All right. Everybody, stay safe.
Be well.
Be well. Wear your mask. Don't text and drive. And let's see if we could get this going.
Yep.
And let's see if we could get this going.
There's the firework. That's our feed, by the way. Oh, that was CBS's feed. There it is.
I got just
Oh my God. Oh, he is right.
Could you hear it?
No, don't. That's all right. Don't.
Still can't hear it, huh?
I heard enough of it. It rumbled or a truck. It really did.
It was fantastic. I love fireworks. Like at Hollywood Beach, I always go July 4th. I've been to the Rose Bowl on it. I'm just a big fireworks fan.
It's funny. Every time I did Angels, we used to work Angels.
Yeah, they
games.
have them.
They did Friday nights. They would do it, and they would set them off. They're literally right behind the trucks and stuff. I mean, and they would hit low, so they would hit right at the perfect. They weren't as high
Hollywood
as
Bowl
they
has them. They're the worst.
And it was loud and stuff, but those things were hitting and stuff.
I love seeing the show at the Hollywood Bowl. Love it. No, you're not on. I love it.
All right, guys. You guys have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Great having you.
Bye bye.
Be well, guys. Be well.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Leave it going on this. Good night.